Last week I showed you guys the world's simplest one-play touchdown against cover 3 and cover 4. We want something like this out of a single back set. You're up in online head-to-head, you see single high safety, quarterbacks playing off, you see this a lot. Could even be cover 2 invert it'll work against. You run my little trick, you get your one-play touchdown. If you want to see more of these details, if you haven't already, I'd go check out that video for sure and come right back. But I think a lot of you were let down that there wasn't a cover 2 beater, since, let's face it, it's still probably the best base defense in this game. The reason why I say this is the holes that are normally dangerous against normal Tampa 2, so last year and the year before and in real football, don't exist because these defensive backs with their 91 zone coverage are totally insane. If I try to throw it into this big hole over here, behind the cornerback, in front and to the side of the safety, there's just no way you can squeeze it in, right? So if you throw it too early, the cornerback's gonna get there. If you throw it too late, the safety's gonna get there. And even if you time it perfectly right, I think there's like a split second that you can get it to your receiver's hands, but they're obviously not going to catch it just because the way the wide receiver DB interactions work this year. And it can get even worse off of that. You get a tip and then probably interception. And then on top of that, everybody that runs Tampa 2 will be putting this middle linebacker in a deep third, creating that Tampa 2 look. And really, unless you really know what you're doing, it's tough to expose that area, and especially if you have a middle linebacker like Derek Brooks. I mean, I know he's not a middle linebacker, but if you put him there, he's going to have that same 91 zone coverage, and it's going to make it really difficult on you. And especially since it actually takes a while for the routes to develop in order to beat the deep middle zone, and by that time you can get a block shed, or some of these hot blitzes can come through and really make your life difficult for you. But I'm here to show you that it doesn't really need to be that way. Like the video I showed you last time against cover 3 and cover 4, we can use that over aggressiveness against them. And we can use also some of the bad habits like base aligning that opponents do. We can use that against them also. What we're gonna do is come out in single back trips open. This formation is only in the run and shoot playbook, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be this one. It doesn't even need to be single back. It could be shotgun or pistol. What matters is that you have your third receiver, in this case, number 88, Darius Hayter-Bay. It needs to be a trips formation, but he needs to be away from that offensive tackle, so you can't have a tight end there or whatever. And I'll show you the reason why we do this. So we'll come up in a stock Tampa 2 look, and I'm going to show you guys just real simply how to do this. By the way, if it's not already assumed, the quarterbacks and the two safeties are both bumped to over 91 zone coverage, and Harrison Smith actually by default has 94 zone coverage. Now we're going to attack him here. Same thing, guys. So let's take a look at how I did this. An instant replay here. So let's zoom out. Nice angle. Okay, so snap the ball. I wait for my third receiver, Juju Smith here, to go about 10 yards. Really doesn't need to be super specific. It could go, 1 or 2 yards less, 1 or 2 yards more. And then once he gets to that point, I do that same throw as I did in the last video where you're leading outside and forward. You're using the high point modifier and you're double tapping his receiver icon. So immediately, as you see here, as the ball leaves Roethlisberger's hand, as he's winding up, Harrison Smith is starting to break on the ball. He knows apparently exactly where it's going to be, except in this case. He totally misjudges it, goes over his head. And Harrison Smith, guys, this is probably the best free safety in the game. Juju Smith goes by him. I don't even have to touch anything. He catches the ball, I take over and run for the touchdown. Okay, let's do this one again. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what you do with Hayter-Bay here and Antonio Brown. To do anything really. All that matters is that Juju Smith is in a streak. great thing about this, again, I don't have to be just in single back and just do a snap throw. I can actually wait a bit. You could read the safeties in this case. So if you're doing this with the previous method, I mean, it's the same method, but if you're doing it against cover 3 and cover 4, you might get a misread. And if you do that snap throw, it can kind of end poorly for you. But in this case, you can verify that you see cover 2 right after the snap. Okay, safety split, gonna throw it, I get the touchdown. If I see something else like cover 4, cover 3, I can just throw it elsewhere. Though I will say, if you play around with it a bit, you can beat that cover 4 deep safety in a similar way. You just need to kind of occupy the other corner so he doesn't get there. So really, guys, I mean, if this doesn't break the game, I don't know what will. Finally, we have something against these ridiculous corners. Let's do the same thing, but let's put in just some random safety. What is this? Shirls. There's no way he has 91 zone. I'm gonna try the same thing. See how he reacts to it. Just keeps going. Makes the play on the ball. Obviously, he's not gonna catch it. So, guys, if you haven't already, I dump your 91 zone coverage corners and safeties and start picking up on those 90 and lower. So, if EA doesn't fix this, this is really gonna be the only way that you can stop this. Unless you do something crazy like manning up on the third wide receiver here, or using himself. But you know, if you user him, you're totally taken out of the play, and the opponent can do whatever they want on you. But one last thing I want to add to this before we move on is you don't even need to do it out of this formation. So we can even stay in something that has 2 receivers on that one side, so single back spread, for example, because a lot of times you'll come up against, you know, someone in 3-4 odd or nickel 3-3-5 normal, and they'll do some sort of crazy blitz setup, and in this case, pinch lock deep press, always with some crazy cover 2 sugar fire heat. They're always going to do some crazy base aligning, and what that does is that takes the slot defender away from your slot receiver and gives them a free release. Now, like I said, you know, in real football, if you don't have anybody over that slot receiver, he's going to get a free release and he's going to destroy your defense. In Madden, generally hasn't been the case, especially in this one. But now we have actual reason for them to fear this. So, same thing. Oh. Let's take him back out, put Harrison Smith in. Who would have thought Harrison Smith would be a liability in coverage, guys? Okay, Harrison Smith. Go back to our pinch dog 2 press. 4 verticals. Base line. Smith-Schuster. I just kind of put Antonio Brown and come back there just to kind of get him out of the way. And another touchdown. Guys, we thought cover 2 is safe. It's not. I run this defense a lot. I fully expect people to run this play against me. I don't really mind it. I mean, the zone coverage play is totally broken in this game. So then let's recap. I mean, we just saw cover 2 there. We saw cover 3 at the beginning. Let's recap cover 4. Same thing. So any zone coverage, if you read it right, you can attack. Guys, I hope you like this video. Leave a like, make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna keep coming out with more videos like this. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.